my beautiful stars. I hope that you're doing so well today. If you're new here, welcome to my little slice of pie here on the internet. And today's video is a spooky story Sunday. And I'm gonna be talking about the time that I had an internet stalker, which I don't know what I was just doing with that, but interesting time in my life, and if you want to hear about it, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to try to be as organized as possible when telling the story, because I know there's gonna be a lot of little parts to it that might not make a lot of sense, but I'm gonna try my best, and I hope that you can follow along. Grab your drink of choice. I have my Dunkin' pumpkin spice coffee today. So to give you background, the year was 2010, which in one of my last spooky story videos, the stranger that chased me, this also happened that same year. So it was kind of a interesting year for me. And my friends and I found out about this website called Meebo.com, and it was a chatting website, kind of like AIM. So it was instant messaging with people all around the world, basically. I know that we talked to a guy from Spain at one point. We talked to a lot of people from the States. We ended up getting catfish boyfriends from this website. That's another story for another time. Trust me, I'll tell it eventually. This was quite the doozy. So it was a few months into using this website, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go downstairs and use it at my house for once. And it was 8 in the morning. My mom was still asleep. I think my dad was at work. He was working a day shift. My sisters were also, I think, at work or something. So I was kind of almost alone technically, because my mom was sleeping. I head downstairs, and to note, never use this at home because I was just afraid of my parents finding out, and they're like, why are you talking on the internet with people that are strangers? And I'm like, good question, because I don't know. This was a huge naive and kind of idiotic moment for me, because I was talking to this guy named Alex, dropping names here. He was from New York City supposedly, and he was 18 supposedly. I was 12, bear in mind, so I was not thinking in my head correctly. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I had a gut feeling, and never ever shove those gut feelings down, because they are there for a reason. I had a feeling that this person was not someone I should be talking to, but I was doing it anyways. And he said, I want to talk to you on the phone. I want to hear your voice. And I was like, okay, here's my number. What, sister? What? Excuse me, that was stupid. That was really dumb on my side of things. He calls me not only a couple moments later, hi Nikki, with an unknown name, unknown number, caller ID. And to me, that was alarming, because I'm like, clearly he doesn't want me to know something. And again, I mean, maybe to see a different side of things, maybe he was trying to protect himself. Maybe he didn't think who I was real or whatever. Fair enough. I don't know. I was just like, well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I answer it. He goes, hi, Molly. And I'm like, hi. He goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in my basement. And I believe he asked me what I was wearing, which I was like, let's back up a bit. And he sounded really breathy and moany. So if that kind of gives you an idea of what this man may have been doing while talking to me on the phone, that was a huge no-no for me. And I was like, I gotta go. My mom asked me to do the dishes. And he's like, no, please don't go. Excuse me, what? What? What was that? Stop. Stop it. I do not want to hear that ever again. And I will never, ever forget that last little statement that he told me. And exactly the way he said it was like that. It just was so creepy. I just still get little chills every time I think about it, because it just is ugh, no. No, thank you. Bye. I ended up hanging up, and I messaged him straight away on Meebo, and I was like, leave me the F alone. You're weird. You're an a-hole. Why were you calling me like this? Blah, 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 blah. Don't even ask. I was just trying to think of all of the meanest things I could say possible as a 12-year-old to this person to get them to leave me alone, because I was like, if I can be mean to them, they won't talk to me anymore. And I'm not a mean person by nature, and also I used to not swear at all, so it was really, really foreign to me to be acting like that. But I was just like, I have to do it. I have to do what needs to be done. He ended up messaging me, and he's like, why? I just want to talk to you, all these little things. And I'm like, just leave me alone. And he's like, no. And I blocked him, because I said, no thanks. I don't want to be a part of this subscription anymore. Thank you. Remember, I gave him my phone number, and he would not stop calling me for several years. He called me all the way up until I was 14, 15 years old. a freshman in high school, and I gave him my number when I was a 6th grader. That was really alarming. And the thing is, some people might be asking me, why do you know it was him like this whole time? Because I rarely gave people my phone number. Of course, like my friends and stuff. Prank calling was a thing at the time, but I didn't get prank calls that often. And if I ever did, like I would know who it was once I answered the phone. Whereas his phone calls were completely different in nature. He would sound like he was breathing on the other end. He wouldn't say anything. Sometimes he would just be like, Molly, like he would say my name. And a lot of times I did miss his call because I wasn't always attached to my phone. And a lot of times he would call me when I was in school, which really made me annoyed because I never really used my phone in school often. So the fact that I could possibly get in trouble with him calling me, having a teacher know that my phone was on me, made me so mad. And I was like, I just need this person to leave me alone. I told a few of my friends about this guy because he wouldn't stop calling me. And he actually called me when I was at my best friend Gabby's house, which I don't know if she remembers this or not, but I answered the phone and I said, "This is Sam from Victoria's Secret. How may I help you?" And I said, "Please hold." And I hung up the phone and slammed it on the table. And I'm like, dude, like this guy will not leave me alone. We just laughed about it because at the point of this time, like, you know, 7th grade, it was a couple months into it, I was just like more annoyed than anything, more than like scared. It wasn't until like my freshman year of high school, he kept calling me. He at first called me all the time, and then it became less and less frequent, which was good because I'm like, oh, I got rid of him. Haha. She did not, in fact, get rid of him, the narrator says. It was my freshman year. It was the winter. I remember setting up the plates for dinner, and I got a phone call. Unknown name, unknown number. I pick it up. I go, hello. He goes,
"Hi, is this Molly?
I go, yeah. He goes,
Remember me from your past?"
exact same voice, exact same manner. I go, nope, and I hang up my phone and I throw it across the room. It hits the couch. I was absolutely terrified because I'm like, oh my gosh, he still has my number and he knows my name. And with my number, I was like freaking out. I'm like, with my area code, like what if he finds out where I live, like all these things. So I decided to tell my parents. The catch is I blamed it on my friend because my friend used the website and they knew at this point like she had this catfish boyfriend and I had that boyfriend at one point and blah blah blah, and that was already like years past. Eventually they were not mad at her at all, like when I told them that. And so I'm like, okay, well if they're not mad at her, then they won't be mad at me. So then I came clean and I was like, actually I was the one that gave him the number, I was being dumb. And they're like, it's okay, whatever happens with this person, if they keep calling you, we'll get the phone company involved, maybe even the police, and see what can happen. He's all the way out there and you're here, so don't worry about it, it'll be fine. That was that. And I actually changed my voicemail to a British accent, and I didn't even say my name in my voicemail just because if their message is so important, they will leave me a voicemail. And since I had missed his phone calls all the time, I didn't want him thinking that he still had the right number. I thought that would maybe like kind of trip him up a bit, but he still called me every once in a blue moon. And it wasn't until the spring of my freshman year of high school that he called me. It was like my last day of school actually. And I decided to pick up the phone, talked in a British accent, and I was like, F you, stop calling me. Obviously the person that you were trying to reach is not wanting to talk to you. They switched their phone number. I'm not this person that you keep trying to call, so stop calling me. Otherwise I'm gonna like get the police involved. I'm going to make sure that you have a restraining order, blah 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 blah. I was just trying to think of all the things that would scare this person into not calling me anymore, because I'm like, who knows who this person is? I don't want them calling me anymore, so leave me the F alone. Of course I don't know if that stuff would be possible to get like a restraining order on somebody I don't even know, but I was just trying to think of all the things under the sun that could possibly scare him from not talking to me. He stopped calling me after that, and I changed my voicemail back to my name. That's the story. Nothing too crazy, luckily, but it still irked me a little bit. That word is so funny to me. If you did enjoy today's Spooky Story Sunday, definitely leave it a like. Comment down below if you've ever had to deal with something like that before, or if you remember Meebo.com, because man, that was such a nostalgic kick for me thinking about that website. All right, see you next time, and I hope that you shine bright until the next video. Bye!